Hello, this is Dr. Marina Nawal Sabra, and this is the first part of my video series, How to Write a Technical Report. And this series is divided into 5 parts. In the first part, I'm going to describe the different types of reports and give you some examples on that. In the second part, I'm going to describe in details each part and how to do it, what to do and not to do. In the third part, I'm going to give you some important remarks that I have encountered during my many supervision of reports, and to tell you what really to do and what to avoid inside the report. And the fourth part is about the presentation and how it is related to the report. The fifth part is about mind maps. So I'm going to tell you what mind maps are and how to relate them to report writing. So in this, the first part, we're going to begin with the different types of reports and some examples. So the reports that are used by a student at the university are mainly a short memo, which we call nowadays an email, a lab report, internship report, a progress report, a project report, or a research report. When you go to work, you are going to also encounter the email, but you have also different types of reports like incident report, an audit report, or any other financial report, a marketing report, progress report, project report, or others. In the examples, I'm going to begin by the lab report. A lab report is something that you have to submit for every lab experiment. It is first an official document, so it has to begin with your name, the title of the report, the date, and any person that is working with you on the lab experiment. It has to have a list of all the materials that you have used, the experimental results, and it should not stop at the experimental results. You have to put the discussion of the results. This means how you analyze the results that you have obtained and how you could possibly even correct these. Is it the problem of the precision of the lab equipment, or is it because there's something else we can do? So all of this has to be inside the lab report. On the right side, you can see an example. It's a template. And in this template, they are giving you the different parts of the lab report. Introduction, material, always begin by an introduction. Never jump into the material itself. The procedure, the data, that is the results, the calculation, if you have calculations to do, your analysis, and then you end up with a conclusion, which could, inside the conclusion, contain the explanation and the possibility of correction of your errors. A progress report is something that doesn't come as a standalone. A progress report, by definition, it's a periodic report that is presenting the state of the evolution of your project. So to begin with, you have to begin by planning your project. This means you are talking about a senior project, a PhD project, or any other project. You could be inside an internship and you're responsible for a project and you have 1 or 2 months to finish that, and you want to divide your work into different smaller steps, let's say weekly or bi-weekly. And at the end of each step, you want to see if you are up to your plan or not. So you write a progress report. So this begins by a plan. So you could plan it on a paper, on Excel, or use something more advanced like a Gantt chart. So if I look at the right side, I can see an example of a progress report. It's titled Weekly Progress Report. So in this project, they are submitting a weekly progress report. And inside it, you have the plan. So you have every step, the date of the plan. You have the progress. So every time you reach the end of the week, you are expected to compare the results that you have obtained or the progress state that you have obtained with whatever you have planned. You could be in advance, you could be late. So this will help you keep track of your work. This will also help you take decisions on how to make it till the deadline. And of course, you could note the problems that you had encountered, justifying why you are not to the planned deadline, and managing how to fix that. Okay, if you are working with a supervisor, be it in the work or at the university, this would really help the supervisor to stay up to date. The supervisor will have a list of your progress and your results. So it could help with the meetings, the regular meetings that you have with your supervisor. If you want to put a detailed description that I really advise, it cannot be in this table, but you can also add it in an appendix or in a separate document. And this way, you have a detailed report on every step that you did when you did it. So when you end your project, let's say 4 months later, you might have forgotten the details. So you go back to these smaller reports and you combine them together to write your final report. Well, an internship report is a report that is required at the end of any official internship that you have to do at the company, but you have to submit to your faculty. It is a detailed technical report. It should include details about the company that you are working with, as well as the work itself, the outcome, and your own personal evaluation. So on the other side, I'm adding the different parts that I would expect you to have in your internship report. So it has to begin with the title page, then acknowledgements, which are optional. Then you have to have a table of contents. Then the information about the company that you have done an internship with. And then you begin by describing the project that you worked on. If it is a large project, you have to describe the scope of all of the project, all of the team's work. After that, you describe your own work within this team, what you did inside this project, what are the parts that you have accomplished, the results that you have given, if you have individual results. And after that, you are going to write your own reflection on the skills that you have acquired, the teamwork, how you collaborated with your team, and anything else that you have learned. And of course, you end with a conclusion. In the appendix, I really advise you to put the internship certificate, followed by the company supervisor reference if he allows you to. This would help you keep reference for later on for your own reference, and keep the internships for your CV. When I talk about a project, I mean a large project like a final year project or even a project within a company. So here it is a report that is required at the end of any official project that you do at the university, and it is supervised by a professor. So I'm talking about the university projects, but this is also applicable to any other types of projects including whatever you do in a company. It could be an individual project, could be a group project. This is an official report. It is a detailed technical report. It has to contain the objectives of your project, the main description of the setup, the materials, and the results that you have obtained, the discussions of these results, and any perspectives that you could have. And the different parts of a project report are a title page, optional acknowledgements, abstract, table of contents, introduction, then a general description of the topic, a bibliographical review of similar projects that are either available on the market or you have found in references, then the description of your own project setup, the material, whatever you did. After that, the results that you have obtained, their comparison with those that are available on the market, to go into the conclusion perspectives. And of course, then you have to put the references of anything that you have found in the bibliography or personal contact or references that you have from the company that you are working with, if you are working with a company. A research report is not very far from a project report. The difference with the project report is that the orientation of the work is more research and not industrial. So it is required if you have, for example, a master's, a research master's, or a PhD. It is usually an individual project. It is also, of course, a detailed technical report. It should include the objectives of your research work, the description, the experimental setup, and the materials, and then the results and the discussion of these results. So in this research report, it will also, of course, begin with a title, acknowledgement, abstract, table of contents, and introduction. Then you go into the description of the topic before you go into the bibliographical review, which in here, because it is research, it has to be even more elaborate than in any other project. Then you describe your own experimental setup, the results obtained, the discussion of these results. And when you discuss these results, you have to evaluate them. To be able to evaluate them, you have to compare them with whatever you have found in the bibliography. This is the importance of the bibliography. If I don't have bibliography, I cannot compare my results to anything. So I cannot know if my results are good or not. So it's very important at the end of your project to compare your results to a certain reference to be able to evaluate, to see if it is worthwhile, and whatever in the project that did not work, you can also always add it in the perspectives. So this is why we have conclusions on everything we did and perspectives for everything that this work opens into, or we did not accomplish and we expect somebody else to accomplish it. And the references are anything that you have used in your bibliographical review as a reference. This is the reference list. This is the end of part 1. Enjoy writing so that we enjoy reading.